This is Gilgamesh. I want to talk about something I've watched this week, and I told people CIA is run by Palantir. I want to go back in time to a man so evil he orchestrated so much without people knowing it. His name, Alan Dulles. He was the director of the CIA. He created Operation Mockingbird. He destroyed a man's career named Joseph McCarthy and lied to the world. What is Operation Mockingbird? The CIA controlling the media and getting them to destroy Joseph McCarthy's career. See, you gotta go back. Alan Dulles was a Zionist who hated Russia. He hated communism. Remember, Russia was the first country of communism. Yes, Russia was the origin of all communism. Yes. Other countries followed after Russia, but the Soviet Union, what you called, socialism and communism are the same thing. But Alan Dulles knew about the communists in Hollywood. Yes. So what did he do? He manipulated things. He infiltrated the Communist Party by telling Elia Kazan and other CIA agents to manipulate people. Manipulate the unions, to the head of the unions, to basically tell anybody if they bothered to work while the strikes were going on, he would blacklist them. He tricked out Walt Disney to testify at the hearings into communism by sending a letter to his animators that he was joining the Communist Party. Walt Disney hated communism. He hated communism. When he got that, he testified. He was pissed as hell. He wanted to destroy the communists. It had worked. Alan Dulles had tricked you all into thinking, and it was a Democrat running the hearings. While Joseph McCarthy fought in the Pacific, fighting the Japanese, he had manipulated the Pearl Harbor. Alan Dulles had manipulated so many things. He was behind. He masterminded Hitler getting into power. He manipulated England and France. This is the genius of Alan Dulles. Do not mistake in this monster. He had manipulated Japan to invade China, Unit 731, commit the bioweapon, because he was always going to bring Shito into the United States to create the bioweapon program here in the United States, including NASA. His whole reason for putting Hitler in, he wanted the Jews out of Europe. Hell, he wanted them out of America. He hated these fuckers. He outright hated the Jews to the ends of the earth. He wanted them gone from the world, from Europe and America. He wanted to create Israel. It wasn't Hitler. And Hitler agreed. He hated his own people for the way they treated him and his family, that he wanted them gone from Europe. And Hitler and, yes, Alan Dulles masterminded the Holocaust. Alan Dulles would have been the one who put the idea of creating Israel into Zionist heads, that we need to expel the Jews and put them in Israel. Get rid of the people there. All this stuff you're seeing now was concocted by this man. He he manipulated Japan, the Emperor of Japan, by convincing FDR, who he had put in power. He was also the reason Huey Long was murdered. He was never going to let America become a communist country. So, he manipulated Japan. See, China wanted Japan to be punished for invading their country. Alan Dulles knew if you put an embargo of oil and gas on Japan, they would attack Pearl Harbor. So he did. He convinced FDR to put an embargo. Japan attacked Pearl Harbor, getting us involved in World War II, keeping us away from Europe, while he masterminded the Holocaust. Everyone goes Hitler. No, Alan Dulles was the mastermind. He was the genius. He hated the Jews. He had others in the CIA and this government who believed it. FDR was a Zionist. People don't realize that. He also hated the Jews. He hated the American Jews. Yes, he hated them because they ran the banks of New York, and he fucking hated these people because they had The fall Black Friday, which created the Great Depression, FDR extended that intentionally to keep things, to depress the country. Alan Dulles he took pleasure in messing with FDR. Knowing he had polio and everything, he used his wife to get his plans, get Hitler in power. And then when Jews were fleeing, FDR told him to go back to Europe. They weren't welcomed in America. This is the genius. And he had planned so many things that are, to this day, already taking place. And at the end, after the blacklist in Hollywood, every idiot in this country still calls it McCarthyism. Joseph McCarthy wasn't even in the government at the time. See, after World War II, he took these Nazis who created the Shito, and he took the Nazis who worked on the bioweapon program, brought them in to create our bioweapons, while he took the Nazi scientists who worked on rockets and everything to create NASA. Created and had planned the greatest propaganda lie of all times. We went to the fucking moon. I told you, this man is one of the most dangerous men who ever orchestrated a world war. And people thought it was Hitler. It was our government with England and with France. But Alan Dulles manipulated everything. His plan for the greater Israel was already, but this was never BB's plan. These things were orchestrated to get rid of all Jews out of America and Europe and get them to create Israel so they could later kill every fucking one of them. Alan Dulles hated the fucking Jews. He wanted them gone from the world. The Holocaust was just the beginning, to expel the Jews out of Europe, out of everywhere, put them in Israel. Then, as they tell you now, it is to exterminate the Jews. Do you understand, people? Their Bible literally says Israel exists so all the Jews come here so that then we can exterminate them for God. This is the monster known as Alan Dulles. I tell this stuff because now, and every CIA director has followed the path of absolute world domination, and they have had their hiccups. But overall, everything they have done has happened. They have assassinated. JFK was assassinated by the CIA. His brother, Michael Jackson. I believe Prince was poisoned by them. They also killed, they killed Martin Luther King Jr., Malcolm X, and others around the world. They've overthrown governments. Why? They created South Vietnam to stop Russia. That's why they bombed Japan, why they nuked the fuck out of Japan twice. Japan had surrendered. It was over. It was a message to Russia and to China, but mainly to Russia. They created the Vietnam War, the Korean War. All this to stop Russia. China wasn't even a big player at this point. Russia was the biggest threat. Everything they did was to take Russia, the Soviet Union down, collapse it. And eventually they did. Why do you think the Pope and Hitler got along? And the Vatican hid this stuff for the longest time. And of course, Benny Johnson doesn't want to believe that the Pope helped Hitler commit the Holocaust. The most powerful people in the world are the most evil. Yes, and even Jews helped kill their own people. And these were half-breed Jews who had been treated like shit by the pure-blood Jews, who said anybody who wasn't a pure-blood Jew didn't deserve to exist. So Hitler, being a half-breed Jew on his dad's side, was treated like shit to the point the family, who I'm not even going to pronounce why Hitler's father changed their name, because everywhere they went, when they saw that last name, they were ostracized. So when their father changed it to Hitler, no one knew who he was. So he was a terrible painter. That's not why he did what he did. It was the fact that his grandfather was half Jew, his father, and himself. They never married into the They didn't buy into the pure blood Jew. Yeah. They each married a non-Jew. Just happened to be, it's like my mom and dad. My dad's Jewish, my mom isn't. Because there's a lot of problems with keeping a purity. Yeah, and that's what the pure blood Jews at the time were doing. Ostracize anybody who wasn't pure blood. And those around the world, even in America, felt it. If you were not considered pure blood Jew, you were not considered a Jew. It was easy to take advantage of that. So Alan Dulles did. He put Hitler, no one, Stalin didn't give a shit about the Jews. He killed thousands of them by hanging them for not supporting his cause of exterminating the gypsies out of Romania. Which, yeah, a journalist. Yes. Alan Dulles manipulated everything. You all bought into Operation Mockingbird, controlled media, destroy a man who, when he became a senator, looked into communism, government, found none. Then J. Edgar Hoover, being a giant transvestite, Alan Dulles manipulated, used him to trick out Joseph McCarthy to go after the CIA. This was the trap to destroy this war hero's career. Because he was a very likable guy. His problem was he targeted the CIA. And J. Edgar Hoover sent him there saying, oh, you want communists? They're in the CIA. Alan Dulles' plan worked. He obliterated this man and blamed him. Got all these idiots to believe that Joseph McCarthy was behind the blacklisting of communism. Just like the CIA does everything, and you all point the finger at Trump or BB Biden. That's the whole point of the CIA. Deception. Deception is the biggest game they play. They convinced you, an idiot who couldn't shoot a rifle, killed JFK with a magic bullet. And that some guy working at a cafe shot Martin Luther King Jr. Or who they say killed Malcolm X. Or Michael Jackson was killed by Conrad Murray when they tried to murder him the first time was setting him on fire in a Pepsi accident. Yes, knowing Michael Jackson would become addicted to painkillers because, oh yes, he did have that skin condition that made his, but it was painful. He had a really terrible form of was it alopecia where you lose your pigment, and he was already in pain from the accident in the Pepsi commercial, which was not an accident. They tried to kill him because they didn't support them. They couldn't control him. That's why Rabbi Shmuley was involved. Conrad Murray took the fall, paid off to pretend he was the one that killed Michael when it was really Rabbi Shmuley, a Mossad agent. Yes, that's why he brags that I did it. I believe they killed Prince because, remember, Prince took on Warner Brothers. Remember when he had this word slave because of what he called the slave contract, which was they controlled his music, he didn't. And so yeah, they killed him and made it look like he died of a drug overdose. I don't buy it. Just like with, Elvis Presley. I believe they killed him. Very popular. Yeah, he was overweight. I don't buy that he died of. I know he had his problems, drug abuse and all that. I think they murdered him. I think the CIA killed him. Now, JFK, yep, they assassinated him and they blamed it on Lee Harvey Oswald. Even he said I was a patsy. Jack Ruby was a Mossad agent. But yeah, they also are the largest child sex traffickers and human traffickers in the world. You ever see the movie Taken? That is the CIA. In Europe, they have their goons who go and abduct young women that travel overseas and sell them on the black world. Yes, to rich Saudis. Yes. Saudi men love them, some American women. Yes, for their own pleasures. They also pay for red rooms, which is murdering teenagers. That's a real thing. The CIA runs the deep web. They allow people to sex traffic children. Now, if you try to go against them, they'll take you down. That's why you're not going to get the Jeffrey Epstein shit. It's all distraction. Now we get to Hillary Clinton and Bill Clinton. Real simple. Hillary was a lawyer and a Mossad. She was in the CIA. That's why everybody who ever tried to take her down ends up suicide. Because Bill Clinton, and I talked to me, and where I used to live, there was a guy that knew Bill Clinton when he was a kid. Said Bill Clinton was one of the nicest. He was nothing like he became after he met Hillary, because she was a CIA agent used to turn Bill Clinton against everything he stood for. Because his mother raised him. He was poor, so he was basically, yeah. They used him. They corrupted Bill Clinton. Him and Hillary never had their marriage is a contract. She pregnant with another man, a CIA agent she was having an affair with. Bill knew this. He could sleep with whoever. They never consummated their fake marriage. Chelsea isn't even Bill's daughter. And they blackmailed him. Got him to get in with Jeffrey Epstein and go to the island, have sex with girls. Because they already knew his penchant for having sex with young women. So yeah. This is the thing about CIA. They run things you don't know. They commit assassinations. They blame other people. This is why they get away with everything they do. For the most part. When people try to uncover the stuff, like Gary Webb, when he pointed out that the CIA had gotten drugs in the black community, what happens? 2 bullets to his head. Suicide. Yes, Gary Webb had uncovered the CIA giving drugs getting drugs in the black community. Yes, just like when they did the CIA, Tuskegee Airmen, all these things. Syphilis. You know syphilis? Yes. MK Ultra. Yes. They're behind Jonestown. Yes. They convinced Jim Jones to create his little commie. And then they sent a politician down there who got murdered. The CIA convinced Jim Jones that this Republican was going to fucking destroy him, so that's why they had him killed. Yes. They covered this up. And then he killed all of his followers and killed himself. See, the CIA runs everything now. And then, after Vietnam, Dr. Mika Brzezinski's father, Dr. Brzezinski, decided to bring a group of guys who had all, when they were young, their parents moved to South Africa. Because South Africa was a racist, apartheid country where you could be the most Nazi-loving motherfucker and do Sieg Heil, which every one of the Palantir men did as boys. That's how they all met each other. And then they were brought in, and they each were software developers. Elon Musk, that's how Peter Thiel met Elon Musk, and he took his father's money and he created PayPal and then sold it off. Elon took that money and bought Tesla. And then they had him get money to buy X so that they can control it. Elon isn't the richest man. That's a lie. Alex Karp is way richer than Elon Musk. Elon Musk's money is literally tied in Tesla. If it collapses, he will be broke as shit. So, why do I tell you this? Because this is how CIA operates. Everyone's like, oh, China and Russia can never take America down. America's not going to collapse. They have orchestrated the collapse of the global market that will keep America number one forever. And you don't even notice it. It's called gold, everyone. Look how expensive gold is. They manipulate people in countries like China and Russia and others. Buy into gold. They created BRICS. I tell this, and they were behind them. Palantir manipulated 9/11. They got the list. This was shit already orchestrated a long time ago. By everything. The list of overthrow the countries of the Arab world, 9/11 was done by them. They did October the 7th. They were behind. Yes. The CIA orchestrated the fall of the Soviet Union, and thousands died when it collapsed. When they got Boris Yeltsin in as president when they found their first real election was Mikhail Gorbachev versus Boris Yeltsin. And they manipulated the Russians to vote for Boris Yeltsin, and then they collapsed the economy and people died of starvation. And what they're going to do to any country that thinks they can oppose America's, they're going to collapse your entire economy. So anybody joins BRICS and thinks, we're going to oppose America, you just watch and see what they do. Just like when they destroy and exterminate all the Palestinians. Oh, and speaking of that, oh yes, I saw the media cover the attack on Gaza. Oh, Israel violated, and then it turns out, as the Dudism point out, an article pointed out that the reason Israel did this was 2 IDF soldiers were killed. Now, Hamas says they don't know anything about it. They don't deny it happened. They said, we weren't by it. So obviously somebody connected to Hamas killed it to cause that to happen. I told you before, they already have plans to take out the Iranian government. The first time, no one knew it till it happened. That was just a warning to the Iranian government to do one thing, to make them go against everything they ever said they stood for, which was the opposite of Israel. We won't kill children. They killed children. They bombed a hospital because an IDF soldier was treated there. They killed oil refining, and people on the left cheered this shit on, just like when they cheered Charlie Kirk's assassination. They set up the United Healthcare's murder. Blame it on Mangione. Every assassination, school shooting and everything has always been perpetrated, it turns out, by someone on the left. That's by design. That's the CIA. Every one of these is to turn the public against each other. And it's worked. The left and right don't like each other. The left has a stupid no king. Oh, where did the no kings stupid thing come from? Oh yes, it was headed by the heirs of Walmart. Like everything else you have watched and seen since 2020 was perpetrated. Oh, back when Obama was president, the CIA created BLM. They created Antifa. They create terrorist organizations around the world, and they do it here. The Weather Underground, the one that kidnapped Patty Hearst and everything, they were created by the CIA. Commit terrorism at home so that the government can then take you down. Squash your rights. Great. Now we have Palantir openly telling you we create systems and then we sell them. People want them, like digital ID that Europe has, that China, Japan, Korea, now Russia. And this is how Palantir gets into these countries. There is no privacy on the internet. Oh, you use a VPN. Well, where do you think they came from? They're connected to the government. Your information not really private. That's a lie. Just like if you get off Google, off of, Microsoft, and you go to, anything else, it's still controlled by the government. You're not really have any real privacy. It's a lie to make you feel like you can get away from them. You can't. Unless you get rid of all technology, they can monitor you anytime they want. They have control of all of it. AI is taken over. All these union idiots think we're going to strike back. They're going to shut you down. Hollywood's about to go. Their writers are going to be dumb enough to go on strike again. It's going to be the end of the writers. AI is taken over. Hollywood's already using AI. Corporations are using AI. You have George Miller, the guy who created the only three Mad Max movies, endorses AI. Look at what happened. Saudi Arabia, just with Jared Kushner's company, just bought EA. Oh, Microsoft is fucking up. So who do you think is going to get their hands on Microsoft next? They're going to get rid of all the woke and stupid that Palantir orchestrated and got the left to buy into. Yes, they manipulated all you. They used Operation Mockingbird and got you to all believe in, look, divide you and say, oh, here's Epstein. Look at my left hand. Don't notice what they're doing right now. Here's this. Very few people are talking about what's going on in the Supreme Court that's going to go their way. And they've already planned it. They planned how they're going to, and it's going to happen and I believe it won't be long before the Supreme Court comes back and shoots down a provision of the Civil Rights Act that allows Democrats to gerrymander, to create fake black cities, so they can get their little black puppets in. When this happens, you'll watch outright I think it's at least 25 Democrats be removed immediately from office, and they'll be in Republican states where Republicans will get governors, will put in a Republican to replace them. This is how they're going to solidify their power. And there's nothing you can do to stop them. They got you to look over here, Epstein, and Palantir doesn't give two shits about the MAGA movement. They hate you like the Tea Party. Do you get it? You guys aren't running things. You keep thinking you can stand up to them and they're going to show you our economy, we're going to still be here. China, its economy will collapse. But here's the funny thing. Palantir is so good that they've deceived everyone to think that it's Trump, it's Biden, it's Obama, it's all these idiots. And they don't look at Palantir, except for me, Whitney Webb, and a few others, point the finger right at the people running the CIA, Palantir. So what do? They talk to China. They got China to buy into their digital ID. They run the World Economic Forum. They got idiots buying climate change. Get electric cars. China has a problem with electric cars that has been coming out, like in the case of one guy crashed his vehicle, and you go watch the video, I'm not going to show it. His car locked him in it and caught fire. He was burned alive. Another guy in his vehicle going down the, I think it was freeway, was praying for his car to stop because it lost control. You really want to drive electric cars that self-drive themselves? That's a fucking insane idea that they can control. Oh, Amazon just had a, that was done by design to show you they can shut it down. Nothing happens without them knowing it. A hack happened? That was Palantir most likely. Oh, hackers hacked it. Whoa. Yeah, everything happens for a reason because Palantir wants you to know they're in control. All these people, I think Mary Adelson or Israel's running the show. You are the easiest fools in the world. See, I said to them a truth. I shouldn't even be alive. Why? Because God said I deserve to live. I don't see myself as special. Yeah, I found out, my mom had a miscarriage. See, my brother was born in 1970. I was born in 71. That's not possible if your mother had a miscarriage in 1970? That would be hard. Unless, because it takes about 2 years for a woman to overcome a miscarriage. So it means a month after her miscarriage, she got pregnant with me. I'm a miracle to them. That's why I gave you the name they gave me. Because it means, it's Matthew. Because my mother was Catholic, she thought, and Matthew's a Jewish name, and an Aramaic name means gift from God. So after all the shit I've been through in life, God said, you're a witness. Okay, so I get to witness the horrors that mankind does. Your nature is to kill yourselves. We have kids assaulting people and getting away with it. We have in New York City multiple times criminals assaulting people. In one case, Bowler has 40 convictions. 20 of them are sealed. He was riding a motorcycle, ran into a cancer survivor and killed her and ran away. He was arrested after he cut a man's fingers off, the guy trying to protect his dog. This guy has been given every chance, Jordan Neely. And the left still wants to think they're, And they advocate for murdering Trump. They want to kill Trump. They want to kill ICE agents. These people are fucking insane on the left. Then you have Hassan Piker who shocks his dog and then lies about it, and people go, no, you actually shocked your dog. And some of his followers were actually turned on him. Then TwitchCon basically got a woman, guy basically walked up to her and grabbed her and tried to kiss her. And she said no, he didn't get to kiss her, but he grabbed her. The previous year, two black men were grabbed by women and had apparently, the women bit their nipples over their shirt. Grabbed their dicks. And TwitchCon did nothing. And the guy running it looks like a child rapist. You ever wonder why he looks like a sex offender? It's probably, I wouldn't be surprised he was. When this Civil Rights Act is the very provision the Democrats are going to lose, Democrats are going to lose the Senate. They're going to lose the House. It won't matter what the next elections are because Palantir will get what they want. They have the Supreme Court. You guys haven't won shit. I keep warning you. You have lost. You on the left don't get it. And this is human nature. To kill yourselves. You have 2 kids, a 9 and 10-year-old. I'm going to do a video on it. And I think it was Ohio. And I was watching Salty Crocker and he pointed this out and I read the article. It's horrifying what this 9-year-old and this 10-year-old, a boy and a girl. The boy was 9, the girl was 10. And the mother dropped her daughter, a 5-year-old, off at a relative's home and the girl went outside and these 2 fucknuts kidnapped this girl, assaulted her, stabbed her, raped her, and then scalped her. Her mother found this out and went and she said to them, sat down and said, "Now, I don't think my daughter's ever going to recover from this." These 2 kids are being charged with attempted murder, rape. They're being charged as adults for how heinous the crime is. Who does that? Who puts this shit in these kids' heads to go do this shit? What is wrong with the world? And then I realized this is your fucking nature. People talk about God and all this. No, you're ruled by the 7 deadly sins. They are the demons of hell. See, there's a God of hell and there's a God of heaven and hell. Yeah. And if you look at the Egyptian Hindus, same 2 gods. Yes. They go by different, Hindus, the God of heaven and hell. Yes. Had the same story. Jesus Christ of Hinduism, and then you have the Jesus Christ of the old Egyptian God. Same 2 gods. Jesus didn't die on the cross for your sins. He died to show his people he was the Son of God. And he wanted to show his uncle he could redeem his people, and he did. And he didn't beg his father to step in. He told his father not to intervene. He needed to die on the cross. And plus, his Last Supper was not with just his apostles. It was all of his followers, and he told them all. He told them what he wanted Judas Iscariot to do. Turn him in. He didn't tell them that he was going to die on the cross. When he left to do it, he told his followers what was going to happen. They were going to arrest him. He told every one of them to deny him 3 times. Because he knew if they didn't, he said the Israelites would have them go through, and he didn't want any of them to have to go through what he was going to go through. So he turned himself in, he faced it, he never cried, he never begged for mercy. And it was far worse than the Catholic Church tells you of the crucifixion. He went through getting whipped, yes. He got speared, thorns, all that stuff. But the crucifixion itself was far worse. First they tie a rope around your wrist and ankles and they rip your limbs out of the sockets and nail you through the wrist and feet to the cross and break your limbs and your ribs. Because the Romans had said this was the cruelest death of all because you would scream forever. They didn't want you just dying on the cross. Yes, so Jesus told them, yes, and as he's dying, he told them, I will come back. Before he was even crucified, he told them, deny me because I don't want you dying. I want you to live. I shall return. He knew he was going to come back from the dead. He told them exactly when it would happen, and it did. He didn't do it, and he resurrected Judas Iscariot and took him to heaven, along with his mother and Mary Magdalene. He never had sex his entire life. He opposed the 7 deadly sins. There was Lucifer and Satan are in a prison with the rest of the angels who tried to overthrow heaven. The 7 deadly sins are there to get you to turn away from God. Pride is the deadliest of all sins. It's easy to get these demons inside of you. It's hard to get rid of them. That's what Jesus had the temptations of Christ were about. Him overcoming the 7 deadly sins. And by the way, the serpent was not Satan. It never said that. The God of hell tested Adam and Eve, see if they could listen to his brother, and they didn't. They disobeyed him. They fell for the trap and they got kicked out. They never had kids after Cain killed Abel. God of hell punished him by making him the land where he killed his brother could never grow a thing. It made him essentially a vampire. to walk the earth forever, to never gain peace. Yep. And Jesus has many brothers. Muhammad, Buddha. Buddha is his brother. There's also Shiva. Because, like I said, his father was also the god of Hinduism. Yes. So, yeah. And same with Moses. So, yes, Jesus had many brothers. And their whole thing was to pass on God's message. That's why Judaism, all that stuff. But people have forgotten that, and they have betrayed it. This is why I chose it in Gilgamesh, because Gilgamesh had a twin brother who was the opposite of him. While Gilgamesh was a kind-hearted king, his brother was a mischievous. He was like the opposite. And his brother had to show him. Gilgamesh had to show his own brother the truth. Yeah. I think that's why when it comes to Star Wars, I actually I understand what George was doing. Like the whole story of Anakin Skywalker. He did nothing wrong. Anakin was a product of the Force to fight back against the Jedis, trying to correct their corruption of the Force, and the same with the Sith. And the Jedi betrayed everything they claimed to stand for. They were afraid of Anakin. They pushed him away. Qui-Gon Jinn was the only one that believed him, not Obi-Wan Kenobi, not the rest. They pushed Anakin. They didn't help him once. They told him, oh, he's the chosen one, and then they treated him like a child. He was more powerful than any of them. They feared him. They didn't care about him. He couldn't even save his mother. Even in the beginning, Padme talked down to him until she realized when he saved his mother and killed the Sand People, he was heartbroken at what he did. But it was that he had no help. That's why he kept saying that Obi-Wan betrayed him. Obi-Wan didn't understand what Qui-Gon Jinn saw. This is why Dooku told Qui-Gon Jinn, do not trust the Jedi, they will lie to you. And they were liars. They've been corrupted. You got to go back over 100 years ago in the Jedi Order. Reason they didn't think the Sith were around, they thought they wiped them completely off out of the universe. Yes, they thought they had exterminated the Sith. Just like what Order 66 was by Palpatine, this is what the Jedi had done. They killed children and everything. So the Jedi were corrupt. That's why Anakin was to tear the Jedi Order down from within, because they were corrupt. They thought they could control the Force. They didn't understand the Force can't be controlled. It cannot be controlled. So Anakin basically did nothing wrong, and he was betrayed. That's why he hated Obi-Wan Kenobi. That's why he raged out. He saw him as the one who let his mother die. Like Star Wars Theory said, George Lucas made it very clear. Anakin did nothing wrong. It was the Jedi that betrayed him. Palpatine took advantage of this and told him the truth. Everything he said, except for the part about saving his wife. He told him the Jedi lie. The Sith lie. He brought up about his master, and over time he gained Anakin's trust by saying, yes, you should be a Jedi Master. He kept, in Revenge of Sith, it's so important that Palpatine has these conversations and tells Anakin the truth. He's gaining his trust. He says, why, yeah, you should be a Jedi Master. So when he goes and brings that to they tell him no. They look down on Anakin. Just like the way the Israelites look down on Jesus. It was obvious he was going to turn the dark side. And Palpatine didn't have to do much. He just showed him the truth. He said, go tell them I'm the Sith Lord. He told them about resurrecting the dead or saving someone from dying. All these things that the Sith believed in. He also said, why should you bury your feelings? You love your wife. Of course they failed you. You could have saved your mother. They should have helped you save your mom. He blamed the Jedi for his mother's death. He did. It was easy because the Jedi were responsible. They failed Anakin all the way. Obi-Wan Kenobi never wanted to train him. He promised Qui-Gon Jinn because Qui-Gon Jinn knew the truth. He knew that Anakin was, in fact, the chosen one. He was a product of the Force. But see, the Jedi, they never tried, really. I don't think any of them really liked Qui-Gon Jinn. Because the moment he dies, they betray his one wish to train Anakin Skywalker. The kids treat him like crap. No one respected him except for Palpatine. Chief Palpatine had got Anakin where he wanted him. He told them the truth. I'm the Sith Lord. Tell them, then watch what they do. Remember, Mace Windu, who looked down on Anakin, never respected him, never wanted him to be a Jedi Master. When he told him the truth, he said this, was simply going there to arrest him. But Palpatine knew this was a fucking lie. That's why he said, when they showed up and lit their lightsaber, if you're going to arrest somebody, you don't release your lightsaber unless, just like you don't point a gun at somebody, the only reason you released your lightsaber is you're planning to try to kill someone. So the lie was they were going to arrest him. And that's why Palpatine says no, 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 and then fights them, pulls his own lightsaber out. He kills every other Jedi except for Mace Windu, because Mace Windu is the most corrupt individual. He's the biggest liar. He lied right to Anakin's face. And when Anakin starts having these, he fears what's going to happen. His fear of his wife dying comes back. So he goes and he sees Palpatine begging for mercy. And Mace Windu going, and he tells him, no, I need him to live, my wife. He tells him straight to his face, I don't give a fuck about your wife, your children, or you. Think about that. He says he must die. He controls the, yes, he does. But to Anakin, he's the only one that's been like a father figure, except for Qui-Gon Jinn. The only one that saw value in Anakin. Mace Windu, why would he trust you? You told him his wife didn't matter. So, yes, he thought that Star Wars theory was right about this. Reason he cut off the hand was he wanted Mace Windu to live. He wanted Palpatine to be arrested. And if he's arrested, he can still help save his wife. He didn't know what... And Palpatine purposely let the lightning hit the lightsaber, knowing it would bounce back and disfigure him. And that's why he was horribly disfigured, and he manipulated Anakin by knowing he was coming in. He force lights and hits it back at himself, disfiguring him, so he can use this against the Jedi and the Republic. So his plan worked. Anakin cuts it off, and then Palpatine kills Mace Windu. Anakin falls to his knee and cries, because he wasn't expecting that. Then he told him the only way to save your wife is you have to go kill every youngling and do absolute evil to gain the power to save your wife. So he does. And Palpatine uses this to destroy the Jedi. Become true Emperor, his disfigurement at the hands, his manipulation worked. He had achieved his goal. And the Jedi fell. This is like with Jesus, but the opposite. Jesus Christ, his followers didn't abandon him. The Jedi abandoned Anakin Skywalker. He did nothing wrong. That's why people don't understand the prequels and hate them so much. Because what George was showing was the corruption of the Jedi, which a lot of people think the Jedi are good. See, Obi-Wan Kenobi only in the end realized the mistake he had made. When he says to Anakin, when Anakin tried to do the same thing by jumping over, he was going to, and Obi-Wan knew this, cut his legs off. What does he say? I failed you. He admits to himself, I failed you. I failed you. He said you were supposed to bring balance to the Force, not join it, but he admits, I failed you. That's why when Obi-Wan Kenobi, too old, knows he can't beat Palpatine, goes into hiding, his shame. He tells Obi-Wan, go to Tatooine and go to the cave, where he learns from Qui-Gon Jinn the truth of Anakin Skywalker. Anakin's still there. He never really turned the dark side. That's why he screams when he hears that his wife is dead, because that's Anakin screaming in horror at the fact that his wife is dead. The suit makes him constantly in pain, because Palpatine knows that he isn't truly on his side. That's why when he sees his son, he tells him the truth, that I am your father. This is Anakin coming through. He never suppressed Anakin. Vader was never relieved. He was there, but it was always conflict. The suit made it so that Anakin was in constant pain, so that Vader would. So when he was Lord Vader, it was easy to control him. But when he had the chance, when Anakin came through, that's when he showed him. That's what the Emperor feared. He didn't want Anakin to be redeemed. He One Anakin dead, his son to take his place, but Luke didn't fall for it. He saw when he cut off his father's hand, he remembered what happened to him, and he turned away from the Emperor, and Vader became Anakin, redeemed himself by killing the Emperor. He ended up knowing it was going to be his death, and he told him, I was always in conflict. You were right. Tell your sister. So yes, the story of Anakin's redemption was always on George Lucas's mind. He wanted to show that the Jedi were corrupt, and they had become corrupt by power. They thought they could control the Force. Just like all of you think you can control things that are out of your control. You aren't going to take down Palantir. You're not going to win. You're going to lose. And they're going to show you the power, how much they control the world. That's why I bring Star Wars into it, because it's all interesting how that parallels this. The only difference is the people running the government aren't going to fall and lose power. They're going to continue. CIA never falls. The government might slip, but it'll be here. The left will lose. The economists on the left are going to crash and burn. The left can't do shit. That's why this is why right now the government, Democrats shutting down the government was for the stupidest reason. And Carolyn Levitt put out a tweet that exposed the Democrats. She said Trump's going to use some of the tariff money to pay the military and other Americans who are not getting paid because the Democrats shut the government down. Democrats threatened to sue over it. This was a trap. They bit it and they fucked up. No one in their right mind blames Trump for this. Trump actually, as I was seeing, his popularity is rising because the Democrats did this last time and people actually got behind Trump. Now, the Supreme Court told him that ICE can do what they're doing, which is stop people, find if they're here legally, and then if they're not, arrest them. So they are doing the job they were told by the Supreme Court. None of you trying to oppose them are winning. A judge saying they have to wear body cam, they're not going to wear body cam. Yeah, they're not going to do that because these judges have no power to enforce their stupid little court orders. And Trump knows this. Palantir knows this. They're laughing at you. They're laughing at everyone you on the left. They're going to show you how you have lost. And I've said this, and I'm just sick of it. The evil is like mankind wants to kill itself, and it is your nature to wipe yourselves out. And you've let the 7 deadly sins in. I don't hate the Israelis. I've said I oppose all violence. Iran showed itself what it is. It's willing to follow Israel down this path of violence. This is why there'll never be peace in the world. You guys don't get it. You're not a peaceful species. You have from day one been violent. You have left wanting to murder ICE agents that want to kill Trump. See, they call anybody who doesn't agree with them Nazis. No one cares anymore. They're back to their old trick with Tolkien. They're trying to say, oh, da-da-da. And you have these Africans trying to now rewrite history on Tolkien and say, oh, these never have they read. And they admit they're trying to decolonize. They're trying to colonize Tolkien to fit their bullshit. Same with C.S. Lewis's Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe. That whole series. They're trying to make it all about, oh, Africa and everything. No. The orcs are fallen elves. That's why they fell to darkness. That's why they're dark skinned, not because of Africa or Asia. No. It's because they are, in Tolkien, Europe is Middle Earth. There were no, anybody from Africa in Europe at the time of knights and everything. That's the period, what they mean by Middle Earth, before the Industrial Age came. That's what Tolkien was writing. Yes. And these dumb fucks want to admit that they're trying to rewrite. They want to take away all the whiteness and make it all their fucking stupid shit. Like how they have braided hair and everything. Trying to claim that's African. No, African women didn't have that. Like everything else, they lie about slavery, which, by the way, or how Africa was colonized. If you actually talk to Africans, they'll tell you. These people that aren't in, yeah. Kids in Africa were asked, do you think these black people in America are African? They go, no. You had a black one literally go, don't call me African American, I'm American. Obama is African American because his father was from Kenya. He's an American. Yeah. And Africans don't consider blacks in America as African. See, Africans don't have afros. That's an American thing, like African Americans. A label that ICE to say, okay, you're different. You're not just calling Americans American. Now we have to, this is where the left comes in. Let's create your little fake label. Call you an African American. Do you feel like you're from Africa? No. You're an American. This is what's so stupid about people. You get the 7 deadly sins and you can't get rid of them. This is why I keep saying I don't feel connected to humanity. I see the violent nature you are, and it's not going to stop. You're basically leading to your own downfall. Yeah, Americans, I want to kill, let's murder ICE. Shut the fuck up, idiots. There's not going to be a civil war. You're too stupid. You're still fucking bringing up stupid shit. Hollywood wants to go on another strike. That'll be the end of Hollywood. The unions are going to collapse. Sorry, left, you're not winning at all. There's no win for you. Palantir has manipulated all of you. That's how they get away with this stuff. They convince you Trump, Biden, Obama, Bush. You don't look here. The power center, which is the CIA. Palantir is the CIA. They convince you get a gray zone saying, oh, it's Mary Adelson. They are propaganda for the CIA. Yeah, this is how they get away with it. They manipulate people and going, oh, these are the ones, BB, da-da-da. When it's really them pulling the strings. And this is why, they don't care what I say. This is why they went after Whitney Webb. Because when she said Palantir runs the country, they said, oh, we have to stop her. This is why they kill anybody who could be a threat to them, like journalists, and they kill them or imprison them. Because if you try to expose the CIA, they will take you down. Especially when they're doing current things. They want you to look over here, look over here, look over here. Don't look here. By the time you realize what they're up to, it's too late to stop them. That's how they've operated. That's why I bring in the whole thing, like in Star Wars, in the prequels, the Jedi thought they wiped the Sith out, and secretly the Sith make their return. This is why the Jedi failed. It's just like here, the left does not know they have failed. They think they win. They don't realize they can't beat these people. Instead of waking up and realizing you can't win, they're stupid. They're all dumb. And they're going to find out the hard way they have lost yet again. And anybody thinks they're going to take down America, you are going to fail. As one woman who moved to Costa Rica after, Trump gets back in, I'm moving. She moved to Costa Rica and now wants to come back but doesn't have the means. Yes. The reason, as much as I have my issues with America, I wouldn't want to live in another country. I want America to fix itself. I don't want us fucking giving money to fucking other countries for their Pakistan for transgenderism, or fucking Rwanda for electric cars, or fucking Zambia for circumcisions, or any of this stupid shit. I want America to focus on America. I want people, if they come here, go and report yourself to immigration. Go from being illegal, undocumented, to being illegally documented. Stop breaking our fucking laws. Learn our language, or another thing. I'm tired of all these fuckers living in America that don't ever learn American. That's what we really speak. We don't really speak proper English, or you idiots would say tomato, or zebra. Z-E, bra. Or you'd say tomato, because M-A is ma, not may, it's ma. Break it down. You learn, understand how to spell theater. Yes, you would learn how to speak properly, but you don't. But yeah, so here we are. We're at a point where there's no civil war coming, people. You're too stupid. The left and right are against each other because you've been manipulated to hate each other. I don't hate anyone. I feel pity for the world. The Israel's going to still be here, and the Palestinians have done themselves in. They're not going to survive this, and the world's going to go on. I've said this before. People deny what I see. I didn't ask to be called a witness. I hate this. Can't kill myself so I get to witness the horrors of mankind. Great, that's a fucking nightmare. Yeah, I used to see all the fucking horrible things that they're planning for the world, and I try to warn you, and you don't listen. So I'm going to not be doing this. I see this stuff. I'm going to be talking about everything. I'm going to do a whole video. I still have to do my video on the whole Final Destination. I'm going to go see Frankenstein on Friday. Then I'm going to go see Chainsaw Man, the Rize Arc, the movie that's coming out this week. I'm going to go see Guillermo del Toro's Frankenstein. Yes, the Netflix movie in theaters this Friday. It was supposed to come out, I guess, last week, but it's in theaters this Friday here in where I live. So I'm going to go to Lower Hearst Theater and watch it on Friday. And the weather's going to get rainy here. I'm fine with that. Yeah, I'm going to go watch a movie and enjoy it. And then my caregiver is going to get over COVID. She's recovering from COVID. She'll be here next week, and and she'll do it, clean my apartment. Yes, I have catastrophic health. I ain't worried about losing food stamps. It's people that can work that aren't working that are going to probably lose their. I haven't gotten a notice saying that I'm going to lose my food stamps at the next month. I'm not worried about myself. I'll be fine. It's other people. People, you want to steal other people. The left wants to steal everybody's money. Stop that stupid shit. You have no plan how to do anything. All you want to do is steal everybody's wealth. Jesus Christ, grow up. Stop blaming everyone for your stupidity. We live in a dumb world. We live in a stupid world and a stupid humanity. You're so fucking corrupt, you don't even know it. This is why I don't care about money. I don't care about anything. I suffer in life. Why do you think they say suffering is good for the soul? Because it redeems you. Your soul gets cleansed by the suffering you live with. Just like if you confess to the God of hell, he might send you immediately to heaven or send you to the prison where Lucifer is, do your time, go to heaven, or you can go to the real hell and meet the 7 deadly sins. Yeah. But yeah, here's, the whole thing. We live in a world of people that just don't listen. Stop what you're doing. You won't listen. You want to think that we'll do, you're being stupid. The left is stupid. They call people that don't support them Nazis and far right and all this stuff, and they're wanting to advocate violence. Can't help you. You can't see the truth. You are violent by nature, and you're going to kill each other. And Palantir just doesn't need Skynet. You're willing to kill each other. You have fucking people murdering, attack. It's horrible. The world, you really are stupid. You are not evolved. You made technology make you stupid. This is why you can't evolve. Why you can't get past your own basic stupidity. That's why you lose. And why they win. Because they outsmart you. Psychopaths are good at one thing. It's outsmarting the stupid. They show you stuff and you don't see what's going on over here. You got a lady who her mother let her move to another state to live with a friend, and then something fallout. I was watching Kit Cabello cover this. Then she's going to go to, I think, Florida for a concert, gets in a vehicle, they get pulled over in, I think it's Georgia. They smell pot, the cops have reason to search the vehicle, they find a ton of drugs, she's detained and now faces, here's the thing. In order to convict her of and everybody in the vehicle is charged with drug trafficking. That's a 33-year sentence. She's been charged. She has not been convicted. Now, the problem for the state is they have to prove she knew when she got in the vehicle there were drugs in it, which I don't believe she did know, or anybody, probably the driver knew, but I don't believe she knew. Her mother's trying to claim that she's autistic, whatever, but you let your daughter go across state lines to Oklahoma, I think, or from Oklahoma to Nashville. So Tennessee. So she moved to another state. So she's 24 You're told now you're trying to claim, well, she's mentally deficient. No, you moron, then you don't let her move. You keep it out. If you're trying to claim she's mentally retarded, then why did you let her leave and move to another state? Make her own choices. Because she's an adult. Yes, she'll be standing trial for trafficking drugs. They have to prove she did. She knew when she got in the vehicle. That's different. That's a hard thing to prove. She'll say on the stand, no. She'll probably take the stand and say, I didn't know when I got in the vehicle. State, can they prove it? No, they can't. No, I don't know if the other two knew. Anybody else in the vehicle knew, but I don't believe she knew when she got in the vehicle that it had drugs in it. I don't buy that for 1 second. When she said, I didn't know there were drugs in the car, I believe her. So, yeah, she'll most likely not be found guilty, but yeah, her mother needs to raise money for a lawyer so that in court she can basically say, do you have proof she knew? They'll probably try to flip the other people against her, which would be hard to do because, well, that would be dumb. But when it comes to cases of drug trafficking, if you're in a vehicle and it's stopped and they find drugs in it, they can charge you with drug trafficking. They have to prove it, but charging you is one thing, proving is another thing. So most likely she'll be found not guilty and walk free. So people, calm the fuck down. It's okay to raise money for her legal, yes. But most likely if they can't prove she knew, then she's going to walk free. So I am not really worried that something bad is going to happen to her. I think that she has a good chance of not being found guilty because they have to prove she knew she was getting a vehicle with drugs, which I don't think she did. But human nature is to kill. 7 deadly sins turn you away from God. They are the demons of hell, and pride is the worst of all. Get back to that. Pride is a deadly sin because it will make you basically get yourselves killed. The Palestinians that stayed in Gaza chose pride over survival. So pride gets inside and it controls you, and it makes you do stupid shit like starving your kids, getting your kids killed. Instead of just leave and live, you thought you could stay and, oh, well, Israel told you, get out or we're going to kill you all. You chose to stay and die. You let your pride get the better of you. That's just a fact. Nothing can stop. You could leave, you could have left. When they said leave, we'll let you leave, but you chose not to. Chose to stay and die. So pride has you. There's nothing after that. You go to hell for that. So I'm just telling you, you don't go to heaven when you let pride take over. When you let the 7 deadly sins control you. This is why when people say, I forgive you for killing my loved one, or when you say, I forgive the people that molested me, it means you don't want it to weigh your soul down. You don't want to get wrath in there and become vengeance. It's about letting go, like Jesus Christ did when he didn't hate his people for the crucifixion. To truly believe in Jesus, you must be willing to walk away. To believe in Muhammad is to walk away. Same with anybody who believes in God. You should walk away. Fighting only gets you killed. It doesn't end well for you. So people thinking we're going to stand up and fight Israel, you are losing. Walk away. It's okay to know you can't win. It's better to walk away and live and find another way to survive than to try to fight a losing battle. So I just wanted to do that real quick. Yeah. This is Gilgamesh. I will talk to you later. Bye.